Hello there, listener. Hello, my fellow ego. Welcome to this episode of the CU Alumni podcast. Today we'll be listening to the recording of a conversation with a fellow alumni in which he shares his, how many years now? Is it 4? Be 5? I think so. 5 years in CU. And it gives us an insight into OGCU, the ancient days, what it was like then. And it was a fun conversation. So if you are yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing on Apple, Google Podcast, Spotify, or any other place you listen to podcasts. So without any delay, let's go and listen to the conversation we had with Quincy. Hello, Quincy, and you're welcome to the CU Alumni podcast. How are you doing now?
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks for having me on here.
Thanks for coming. I really appreciate you taking out the time.
My pleasure.
All right, now, bro. So people, whoever that's listening to this would like to know who is on the other side. A little introduction, that kind of thing. So just say your full name, what you studied, the year you graduated, where you currently located, and any other thing you want to add. Maybe what you do for a living.
Okay, so my name is Quincy Birch.
All right.
I graduated in 2009. I studied economics, and I'm currently in Canada. I work as an accountant.
Okay. Are you single or married? Or
Okay. That's okay. That's very important. I'm actually married. I've got 2 children.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm very happily married. I've got a wonderful wife and family, and yes, I didn't have the pleasure of marrying a CU person, but what I got was also really good. So let's just
It's a personal choice, man.
Thank you.
Exactly, personal choice. It's not compulsory. It's who you blend with, who you flow with.
Exactly.
Now, so now let's go back in time. Let's do time travel.
Sure.
What kind of person were you? Because now you graduated in 2009, so people need to understand what CU was in those days, the 2005 era. You know, I was there, but I need to know how it was from your own perspective. Yes, I'm coming in, hearing about CU, or whatever you may have heard about CU, coming in 100 level. You're not the same Quincy that graduated in 2009. So you take us on that journey from 100 level, 200 level, 300 level to graduation.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
How personal should it be? Should it be generic or should it be very personal?
Personal. I want to see it through your own eyes.
Yes. Gosh, that's okay. I'll try my best. Okay. So interestingly, I entered in 2004.
Okay.
And I graduated 2009, which means I spent 5 years, even though I did a 4-year course, right?
Okay, yeah.
A lot of my friends, interestingly, were engineering students.
Okay.
And so up till like as recently as I had conversations, like I think maybe 5 years ago, the engineering students I've come across that, think like if they were in EIE, they would think I was in civil or mech or something, and the ones in civil or mech would think I was in EIE kind of thing.
Okay.
But when they ask me which specific engineering did you study, I tell them that I was in financial engineering. So yeah, that's how I kind of get around that. Now my son has come to keep me company. I entered 2004, and I remember writing CU exam. I wrote the exam, I came for the interview, and I was sure I'll get in, which felt like a problem for me at the time because I was like, I don't want to go to CU,
Why? What made you feel like that?
So 2004, CU had only 2 sets by the time I was entering.
Yeah.
So I was in the 3rd set. And there was this reputation that CU had started to, garner at that time, is this basically glorified secondary school, this and that and this, and then the rules are this and the rules are that. And I was thinking, oh my God, I don't want to be in this place. I thought I didn't want to be there. And around that time, someone told me about Bowen University, and I thought, you know what, Bowen would probably be a better idea. So when I got the chance, I managed to convince my parents that, I'll do the Bowen exam. And I remember going to Bowen, and I was like, first of all, getting to Iwo, it was like a very deep village, and the hotel we stayed in, believe it or not, we paid 100 naira for a night. Now, it seems like it was 2004, so naira was stronger, but no, like you would still need to pay like
100 naira
30k for a proper hotel, right? Now it was 100 naira. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I don't think I am. Okay, no, it was 600 naira. 600 naira. My bad. It was 600 naira. I just remembered. Like it was one light. Like the setup, it's like, I don't know if you've heard these comedians joking about hotel where you'd share towel. It was kind of like, not that bad, but almost like that. And I was like, okay, this is the village. Inside the school will be better. I mean, kind of like, see you, right? And I go into the school. Everything was just like, I was like, oh my God. Everyone was speaking Yoruba everywhere. I'm Yoruba as well, but it just felt very ras. Right? And I was thinking, Jesus, by the time I'm leaving here, my accent would have finished, because I've kind of always spoken like this, right? My accent would be finished, and I would just be a fool. Do you understand? So I just ran. At that point, I started to pray that CU would take me, because if I didn't get CU, it was going to be Bowen. It's so funny. Anyway, I started to pray for CU to take me, and when I saw my name come out on that newspaper list, I was so excited. And of course, the rest is history. At that time, they don't use newspapers anymore. I take it.
They don't step up.
That's what it was. So of course, coming into CU, I was just really, really happy. It was the start of a journey. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's coming in. You describe how you went through the whole registration. How your mindset, people's registration process was different. Going through that 100 level stage, before when they tell you your name is still in pencil.
Okay, well, there was that, and then going through matriculation, and then WAEC results coming out. So I went to the secondary school I went to was a very serious secondary school, and like the kind of secondary school where most people had straight A's in WAEC. So of course, most people enter CU with AR, right? Awaiting results. And we're all waiting for our results. And I remember when the results, so this was after registration and all that. You're still kind of unsure, because you don't know if you're going to be a student, right? Until when your results come out, and people patch up, join results, add WAEC to NECO to 2 years ago, to everything, just to make sure that they have their 5 C's. But me, because I was coming from that background, when results finally came out, at the time I thought I had a very horrible result, but obviously over time I've come to see that it wasn't bad at all. I had 4 distinctions and 4 credits.
How was that bad, man? That was
I know, right? But because I thought it was bad, I was hiding my results from everyone. I was just like, beg, you don't want to know what I feel like a failure. Just leave me alone. And I remember the first time someone just got a glimpse of what I had, the person was so upset, because it felt like I was being,
better than.
Do you understand? Or like that sort of thing. And it was completely not the thing, right? It was just, it was just, again, where I was coming from and what I thought was expected of me. At the same time, a lot of the people I knew, like from secondary school, were also in CST. Like I said, before when we're chatting. So a lot of my friends were in CST. I was in CBS. I was in ECHO, obviously, but I didn't have, really
CBS friends.
Yeah. So most of my friends were engineering, which partially affected me academically because I didn't feel comfortable. You know, I always kind of felt out of place in that, and quite rightly so. I was a science student in secondary school, and in hindsight, I really should have done something more science related. I mean, I really could have. I could have done engineering. I could have done computer science, and I would have been better off, even career-wise, for where I want to be.
Why didn't you choose that now?
There was, I think in SS3, I just kind of felt like, okay, I wanted something, you know, broader. Like my favorite subject was always math, and I thought studying math in school was going to be dry. You know, we don't get that career counseling that, you know, we're supposed to get at that level, which would help you make the right decisions. And there's this, you have to enter school immediately kind of, you know, culture we have in Nigeria.
You can't spend
as soon as you can, like if you have the resources, right? You don't then hang around and form, I'm trying to make the best decision for myself. So I think if I had counseling, I could even have done math, and that would still have been wonderful, because obviously math is like the bedrock of, you know, science, right? But I didn't see it that way then. I just saw math as my favorite subjects. You can't get a job with your favorite subject too. Just give yourself some small brain, that kind of thing. So I went with economics, which is weird, because we didn't even have social sciences in my the only social science we had was economics. We didn't have all that accounting, business studies kind of thing. It was just economics. So coming into Covenant, like I was just getting exposed to all of these things for the first time. I didn't like government or history in secondary school, so having to do political science and all that stuff was just drudgerous. Accounting was also drudgery, which is funny because that's what I do now, right?
It's ironic.
I know, right? Yeah. Like I love numbers, but then with accounting is like, no, there's not this kind of numbers. So much so that as an elective in year 2, 200 level, I dropped accounting. That no, I'm not doing this. No, not for me. So, but yeah, that's, so you can kind of see maybe a little bit. At the time, I didn't realize this, but like over time, I've come to realize, maybe I wasn't even feeling in place, not necessarily with the people, because people were nice and I'm in touch with a lot of them still to date, but with just the subject matter. And, you know, it was more interesting to talk about, you know, like even when we started to do stuff like econometrics, which is similar to engineering math, it was nice to have conversations with people in engineering about what they were doing in engineering math, which is similar to what I was doing now, than it was to have conversations with economists about econometrics, that kind of weird, you know, thing. But that's what it was. So year 1 was really, you know, that sort of, you know, the whole registration process, and then, you know, just come to terms with the fact that, hey, any small thing, you could be expelled, you could be suspended. No secular music, no nothing, just mind your business, face road. And first semester was actually pretty good. So up until December, I was even going, there was this thing they started that time, Pastor Macaulay started that time. It was this morning devotion thing at like 5 a.m. or something. And that was really good because I wake up early, I'd have showered before that thing, so that once the thing is over, I'm just going straight to class. And, you know, if I'd continued that way, definite 5.0. I think, but the roommates I had. But then they moved a group of people from Paul Hall to Peter Hall. Obviously, in 2004.
They were doing the change now, when they moved. Esther Hall was Peter Hall.
No, that was even before then. That was even before then. Like they just moved. So that was 2000. This was 2004 now, like 2004 and 2005. So it was later on they now did the whole rearrangement. This was 2004. They just moved some people. I don't remember what the reason was. They just moved. I think they moved all the year 1s to Peter Hall. Something like all the year 2s were in Peter Hall, and the year 3s were in John Hall, which is now Esther or Deborah or one of the and the year 1s were in Paul Hall. But then they now shuffled something. They just shuffled it somehow, and they're going to move people to Peter Hall. Paul was a nicer hall, right at the time, which is why it became the female hall, and Peter remained Peter. So I didn't want to go to Peter, and I unfortunately, because I think it affected the whole course of events. Unfortunately, Mr. Solomon. I don't know if you ever met him.
Not sure.
He was a hall officer. He was like one of the more senior hall officers, from like long, like
Inception.
again 2004. Yeah.
Okay.
He just kind of thought I was a nice young man, and said, okay, since you don't want to go to Paul, don't want to go to Peter, I would give you whatever for you to remain in Paul. And that was nice, but then it wasn't nice because the people that I had on my floor, so I was in A block, I think it was A block.
The one that faces outside.
Faces outside, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I was A400. And the people out on my floor were just generally, like, there were some serious people, but like, they're just not the sort of people that, like, people I had in my room actually were not the sort of people I had initially that were all year ones, that were all just like, I don't want to get expelled. So there was a bit of lethargy from like some of the people there. Then A45, which was the last room on the floor, had this, and now think about it, 2004, 4 roommates, 3 computers, 3 desktops in one room. Think about like there was no desktop in my room. So just to give you like context, for there to be 3 desktops in one room, and those desktops were a serious problem, right? One had Championship Manager. One was in Naruto Viewing Center.
Ew.
And one was Pro 11. No, Winning 11. Let's say Pro 11. Win 11. Win 11-7.
Distraction unlimited.
Now, to show you how bad it was, like, I think I even just managed, like, it could really have been worse. There was a guy, I can't remember his name now, but it was supposed to be in year 2 then. This guy would wake up in the morning, like before some people would wake up or would have woken up, and he would have worn his tie, ready for whatever. And he'll come up from his block, I think it was in D or something, will come from his block, come up to our floor, and he has resumed Championship Manager at 7:30 in the morning. When the owner of the Championship Manager desktop comes and needs to do some work, he will stand up and go and do Winning 11. When the places now get to crowd, like around 6, 7, 8, they will start Naruto. That Naruto is still 3 a.m. Serious arcade, serious temptation. It was a real, like, of course, from that point of view, you just kind of think, I'm lucky, it's only 2 doors down, right? But you're very unlucky because, distraction is too much. You end up sleeping at 2, 3, 4 a.m., so
if at all,
you're tired the next morning, it's a struggle to
go to class.
Exactly, those sort of things. So that happened a little bit to me, and that just already set the tone for things going forward. But that was that's what it was, starting out. And I also, like, it was also a struggle because, like, I'd gotten like some sort of acceptance with the people I was in the room with initially, and then I came to this room where there were senior men, and all of them were cool guys, and and like I have this sense of humor that is a bit interesting, and if you don't get it, it just flies over your head, right? And I but at the time I didn't even really understand that I was a young guy, right? And so when I got to this one, they just kind of, there was this guy that I always used to say, guy, why do you yamp up? And I just, when you hear it so often, you just kind of believe that, okay, maybe all I have, is pap to yarn. And it affected a bit of my confidence as well, and blah, blah, blah. But yeah. So it was too personal, but yeah, I don't know.
We understand that. No,
but yeah, that's what it was. But then year 1 was pretty decent. You get a hang of things. You know how to avoid revel people. You do your revel was a real problem. I don't know how it is now. I don't know. I think they said they scrapped the whole thing.
Them. Yeah, okay. I think it was 2013 or so.
Yeah, I mean, the real problem. But I had friends in revel. Obviously not Ekpayong. But like the other people in Revel that I was just like, you'd have conversations with and say, how do you manage with all the hate? Because, you kind of see them and know that these are cool guys. And, but obviously people would hate them because they wear their uniform, right? And I mean, like I know obviously there were people that were there that were bad, but then there were a couple of them that I knew personally that were like cool guys, just, kind of innocent young people that just think I'm helping out, but then they don't realize that, like,
they're causing harm.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So yeah, it was that sort of thing. I was also close to student council people at the time in year one. So like Muyiwa Faduba, Shayo, Asiwaju, Joke. I don't know if Azubike was. I know it was chairman in my second year, but I don't know if he was in student council in that first time. I think he was. So I was like close to. I was not like close, but I was like kind of in those circles. I also thought I was interested in drama then, so I was in CUTG. I was in CUTG in year one. We started Theatre X. I was part of the people that started Theatre X. I don't know if you ever met Theatre X.
Yeah, I met them.
Yeah, I was part of people that started Theatre X. I was also part of Radicals. I was part of Reborn. And a lot of these people were CST people. Obviously, I was part of those groups because I was closer to those people. So yeah, I was more like
you're really busy in chapel.
So I think those things helped me to stay away from trouble. So you could catch me in the other side of library on the third floor with someone of the opposite sex and still be like, oh no, couldn't have been doing anything, but yeah, just go. Obviously, I never did anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, that's the sort of impression I created in people's minds, not intentionally. Like, I wasn't trying to be criminal, but like, I think just people just thought, okay, just a shy guy, which I was. Although people don't believe that, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Now this whole what they call the rules now. Which rules were like what the hell is this like over the years?
To be honest, like I really couldn't complain about any of the rules. Like, okay, I know it sounds funny, right? But okay, don't wear jeans. It's inconvenient because, like, you have to wear those trousers. It has to be sharp all the time, blah, blah, blah. Jeans are very convenient. You just put it on, you're good to go. But, I kind of found it funny that, like, part of the reason why it was scrapped was that, it could be provocative. Like, the way some girls will wear jeans
But funny enough,
do you understand?
Somebody's jeans of today now compared to that time is man.
No, but forget even that. Apart from that, like I don't know if there was ever anyone like you ever saw anyone that would wear like those, for example, those white pants that are not jeans.
White pants. Is it like kind
white
of
trousers?
Chinos, like
not chinos. Like cloth, like
regular cloth material.
Yeah, I think those were like the worst things that in terms of being provocative. I think those are the worst. Like jeans will still hold everything together, but you know how, like, imagine a very voluptuous young lady, like with
everything vibrating.
You see the jiggle, and there's no. Do you understand?
But
you get what I mean? Like jeans will hold everything more in place. So I kind of didn't like. I understood where it came from, but like in my mind, I'm like, these things that these people are wearing here will make people miss heaven. That's what I used to tell myself then. But also not using phones. Funny thing is, there was a point in time which I had a phone in school, and
we all did.
And I would, with my phone, I'd be like, okay, so who do I want to call now?
Internet was not yet like it is today then.
If it's today, like I would get like there's WhatsApp, there's BBM, or there was BBM. Yeah. I mean, at the point in a period there was BBM. There's all sorts of things like I mean, you could even be on your laptop and be on Facebook now, and like you can connect in so many different ways. So you don't even need a phone per se. Yeah. But then it was just like, okay, so you first look for credits, you buy the credits, you have to call someone. Who are you calling? Like, like all the people that I'm relating to are in school. So if I need to see them, you go to, if you want to see someone, even if the person is in girls' hostel, you ask somebody, please let me go and call Cynthia from
that's in
Dago and Call thing.
that's
It's because you'll be standing there, all the people will be passing by looking at you like this one. No get shame.
Slide you don't go know.
Or you'll be waiting. You wait for 30 minutes.
The person you said is not good. The person look at 400 flops. I beg.
Who you be? Why should I go for you? That sort of thing. Yeah, there's all that. But like again, it's not like if you had your phone, you'd have the ability to call the person, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just one of those things, right? That I just thought, okay, yeah, whatever. Eventually, the phone got stolen, which was sad because I couldn't report it to anyone.
You go just be say, oh my God.
And you just walking past Porter that you need to let them know that people are stealing things, but you can't, you can't say what to do. So that was that. And then in terms of exit, like taking exits out of school, like I didn't even want to be going out at all because I was just like, I beg. Like I'd heard, like I was born in Lagos, but I grew up in Abuja, right? And I just, you always hear these things about Lagos, like Lagos. Like and again, I wasn't like, there are people that are rich that some guy will come with a car to pick them up and all that. So like if I'm going out, it would be you enter shuttle first, you enter Ojure or toll gates, So I just always, like, every time I went out, I always used to just hold my zipper like this, that I beg, because the story that was scary that I heard from Lagos, they don't, not even like they take my money, but please don't take my oko. Do you understand? Because what am I doing in this life without it? Do you understand? I don't know if any of those stories are true, but I was like, I don't want to be the one to confirm it.
I beg everything.
So if anybody's coming,
if you take money, you talk to yam. Mm-hmm.
I was like, I beg, I don't want to know. That sort of thing. But I did go out a couple of times, but nothing. In fact, actually, year one, again on that floor, one of the people I met on that floor was like, Quincy, may come out now. One Bielsa guy. The guy obviously didn't make it to the end. I think he was expelled in year one.
Wow.
We went to somewhere close to Ojure.
To chill.
This guy, we just sat there. Next thing, he was like, Quincy, what do you drink? I was like, I'll drink malt. That was the highest at that time. The guy just ordered for himself Guinness. I was like, okay, toh. Next thing, guy got this thing. Next thing I saw, he was smoking weed. I was just sitting down there like this. Down. This guy is going to get me expelled, and I'm not even smoking the weed. Do you understand? Because I was just thinking, if anybody should see me here now, what is my explanation? How do I say, I was just like association? Do you understand? You know how CU is now. So fortunately, that didn't happen that day, but somehow he got expelled eventually. I was like, I need to just kind of watch it. So that was already in year one, right? But like I just, tried to stay away from trouble because, really, really, I was a good guy, on the inside, in real life. So yeah, that's what it was.
So with all your relationship with student council, and you know, everybody told me that you were chill with Liv John. Did you enter trouble with any of those set of people?
For what reason? How will I enter trouble with them? Like, what would I do? Like, okay, I think maybe it's also worth noting that I never dated anyone in CU when I was in CU, like in CU. Not because I wasn't interested in anyone, but I was a very shy person. A lot of people think I wasn't. A lot of people think I was very outgoing and very, this because I was also at the point like, I played the guitar. I played guitar at a lot of, dinners across 2008 and 2009. Like, I was at almost every dinner just playing, guitar for people, playing with, other people, right? And I was also part of the press and media unit. for the last couple of years as well, and I was very outspoken in you know where I was comfortable. But I was a very shy person, and I always just like you can't trust see girls. They'll just use you and dump you, that kind of thing, right? I know not everyone was like that, but you don't want to test and then find out, right? But apart from that, I was just scared of rejection. Like that's what it was for. That's true story.
And that was normal teenage years.
You understand? And I remember once somebody even came to me and said, Quincy, what's the problem? Because I've never seen you with one girl that people are holding hands or forming romantic or anything like that. And I said, no, there's no problem. I just, and before I could even answer, the guy was like, are you gay? I was like, hey, I beg, I'm not, please. Thank you. But like, but yeah, so I think there was that as well. Like there were very few things that I could do like outwardly that would be things that they would, like any one of those people in those circles would see and be able to castigate me for. And the major things that got people into trouble were things I could like weave my way around. So kind of like so coming late to chapel service or stabbing chapel service. Not stabbing, missing chapel service because I never did it intentionally. But
what's the difference between stabbing and missing? Please.
Stabbing is the conscious effort to miss chapel service. Thank you. Intent. It's like the difference between manslaughter and murder,
I love something here.
But like, if I came late to chapel service, some people would get a warning letter, and some people that already had previous case could get suspended, for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Meanwhile, me, I would come, and if I did it like 3 weeks in a row, I'll probably get suspended or even expelled, right? Depending on who's unhappy that time. But I'll come late. I'll just go and swipe my card and everything is okay. I even think that like the biggest thing that people got into trouble for, I don't know if you remember, there was one departure service that everybody stabbed. I think it was 2008. Or maybe even 9.
I stabbed it safe.
That like a lot of people stabbed, so very few people came, and then they now failed attendance, or maybe they didn't even do it. Then I think they now spread word that they took attendance, so that this one is serious because almost everybody didn't come. So people now ran and came and started filling attendance.
That's guy that attendance with. Were we swiping? Is it not?
No, it was a list. It was paper.
No, it was like receipts. I tell them to be like receipts. They will share it seat by seat.
No, but this one they were writing it on paper, so there were lists. Like people were just writing their names.
Okay.
That's when we came in.
That particular
day. And I was trying to write my name. And it got to a point I was just like, okay, but Quincy, why do you want to write your name? Were you here? Is that the honest thing to do? And that's how I said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to write my name. Like if like whatever happens, if I perish, right? You won't believe that the names that they took down, those are the people they punished because they didn't know who wasn't there. But everyone that wrote their names.
Wow.
It was that day that I believed the expression that no, the ones. So I think what they had done was they're taking attendance, yes, with the people there. But by the time the departure service was over, they now started to take new names. So everyone that ran after departure service was just copying themselves.
She set up, nah.
So some people were even writing names for their friends that were not there. When that thing happened, I was like, see, set up. Like, I wasn't like, it wasn't even like, it wasn't like I was trying to be sharp, like, oh no, you can't catch me. It was just me being honest, like, I'm not going to do it. But it then ended up being a positive thing, right? Wow. That I was honest, So yeah, that happened. And that was like, so it was that sort of thing. Like I wasn't doing anything wrong. So I wasn't ever pairing. Okay, no, I wasn't not ever pairing. I did pair, but
small.
just a little bit, just a tip. But yeah, not like frequently enough to be noticed or to do it at the time where you'd get into trouble. And obviously, because I wasn't in any relationship, like there was no whatever, like I didn't have to, that double pressure, like, because you're with your girl, you now want to form, that's not, because Audi is close. You say Audi the transporter.
Sure.
I heard about his escapades, but we'll get to that. You now separate yourself. You now start fight. The girl will now start fighting you. That so you don't. You're trying to form. You're not with me. I don't know what people went through because I didn't understand why. But yeah. So like, again, like I was never in a position where I could really seriously put myself in trouble, except for the very obvious ones where there were ways in which I could escape. Yeah, again, the biggest one we chatted about this earlier was the Bible thing, right? When Bishop asked, if you don't have your Bible, stand up. And yeah, like I said, I remember just thinking to myself, like, Bishop is asking if you don't have your Bible. Bishop himself, not Pastor Macaulay, not any of the pastors, not Pastor Rotimi, Bishop himself. And you stand up and say, well, I can beat my chest and say I didn't bring Bible here. And people stood up. I was thinking, oh my God, it's going to be bad for you. Until when Bishop was like, hey, Rotimi, Bamdele, everyone that doesn't have their Bible, take their names. And I think he also called Azubike. I think Azubike was chairman that time. And I was like, Jesus.
They kept them behind after chapel. They were now checking their records. Those that were second offenders.
Exactly. But I don't know if you remember the
4 weeks
the pandemonium in the chapel after he called those people to start checking. Where people were jumping through the windows. People, I just stood up. I just stood up from where I was sitting. I was sitting close to the front. I stood up, walked all the way. I was walking. Everyone was running around me. I was just walking. Walked to the back, walked round. I was on that other side, the choir side, closer to the choir. I can't remember the names of the entrances now. I walked round, like all the way to the other side, and went to the back to the reflections room. And as I got there and I just saw that nobody followed me, no one was going to come and catch me there, I opened reflections door. I saw people just chilling there, listening to music, secular music. Girls were even on guys' laps. I was like, it's like I'm in a different country. What's going on here? What's going on here?
This was actually here.
I'm telling you, and that's how I just hung out there till people that were inside now came inside and said, man, what happened? I was like, I know, I saw it. But that's how I escaped that one, because I probably would have gotten a suspension or something. I mean, I had a clean record, but, they didn't really have mercy on anyone that day because I was really upset, right? But yeah, I really did try my best to stay out of like real trouble. I don't even know if I can say I did. Like I said, I was always someone that was smoking weed, right? As early as year 1. And in year 4, 400 level, I went out with some people. They went again to a jury, but some conspicuous place. They started smoking weed again. I was like, we've seen this one before. Please just give me malt. They're drinking. Next thing, I just saw some girls just came and started to give these people like lap dance, or maybe not lap dance, but sitting on their laps and all that. And then they were saying they were going to come back later that night, that they were booking spots. So it turned out to be like a brothel. And I was like, Jesus, like, as the way my heart was cutting,
boy,
do you understand? But there was just that sort of thing where, again, nobody ever snitched me, right? Because I was never there when it turned out to be bad. In year 1, there was this, I don't know, you might have heard about 1145.
Yes, I heard that. Yeah,
that somebody, a student, they expelled. They were stabbing
your mates, and you fool me, sons of a liar. We're dancing to the tune of the devil. I was still in secondary school that time, but they played it for me.
They expelled people. That is, people broke the oath of omerta. That time, people were just casting people, and the foolish thing is, at least if you're breaking oath, the feds would, I mean, of course, I'm talking in mafia terms, right? If you are snitching, feds will give you witness protection or reduced sentence, right?
Yeah.
They expelled all of them.
Both the snitcher and the snitched. Both the snitch and the snitched.
In my mind, I was just thinking, thank God nobody thought I was cool enough to go to that party, because the governor of Ondo State's son was there, Agagu's son. Everybody was there.
Yeah, I remember they said that,
But it's even possible that if I had gone, that nobody would have noticed me, So that again was like, I was that sort of person. I was just like not like it was after a while that I became quite known in some circles, especially for the guitar playing. Like even with being in Theatre X, like being on the stage, like I never really used to speak. I just used to act Jesus or angel most of the time. I'll just come and lift somebody's hand up or touch someone and I'll disappear, which is not really acting.
No,
extra. But yeah, so I was actually very much not like, in the line of fire most times. So I think it was easier for people to make a case for me when, something would come up, right? Again, I got a letter of warning once. And that was when like the Abuja bus came late or left early or something funny like that. I think we came late to school, so they gave everyone a warning letter. And I just thought, the one time it's not my fault is when I get punished. I should try to make things my fault more often, But yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Hey, you were talking about this Audi man. What did you want to say about him?
Oh, well, it didn't happen in my time there, but Audi, I mean, we used to call him Audi, we used to call him Transporter. Audi.
I don't know, yeah. That car looks like that Transporter car.
Jason Statham's car. And he was married to a white woman, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, everybody didn't like him.
What was his real name? I never knew his real name till tomorrow.
That's a good question. I think I used to know it, but honestly...
Audi man. His man is Maroon Audi.
I used to know his name, but I can't remember now. I think it was from Edo or something. But I heard that he got someone pregnant. That's what I heard. But I left school before I could see that glorious day.
He ran away, left everything behind.
But he went with his wife, right?
He ran away from the school. His wife, everybody, they took off.
He left his wife?
Left his wife, left his car, everything, and took off. I don't know the rest of the story, but that's what me I heard.
That is crazy. I don't know. Was it worth it?
The guy is a criminal now.
Okay, because that's rape, statutory rape.
Yeah, now what if you catch? Imagine now if you catch some girls, maybe they are parents. You will not take into their office, be threatening them. Next thing now, I will not cut a deal. Say, oh yeah, now maybe we run package. I will not report you. And somebody in a desperate situation, not thinking straight. We are agreed
just thinking if my parents should find out I was doing this, they'll kill me. Oh, that is crazy.
So
that is crazy.
Things he was doing. Seizing a lot of people's iPods, you can sell them. Yeah, that's it. One of my classmates, he seized his iPod 3 times. I was like, hey, iPods. Don't use it and make money.
Well, that's horrible, and that's real. I mean, he, like you said, really, I never even thought about it that way, but really, he's a criminal. That's theft. That's abuse of office. That is really statutory rape, because I'm sure a couple of the people he would have done stuff with under 18.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of people under 18. I mean, one of my roommates when I first came in was 14 when he came in.
Me, I was 15 when I entered, so can imagine.
So it's that sort of thing, right? And yeah, it is really criminal, what some of the things that happened there. I mean, it's a good thing that he was at least conscious enough to know that what he was doing was wrong. Because obviously, if he didn't know, he wouldn't have run away, right? Yeah. But it was bad that he couldn't serve the punishment, that that was due to him, honestly, because that was actually criminal.
Very, very, very. So finally, now I want to ask, with all your experience that you went through, with the experience you went through in CU, what what things do you see in yourself that you got exposed to, that you learned because you went to see you? Like, if not for see you down, you won't have learned this. Are there things like that?
That's a very okay. I think first off, CU was CU was the best place I could have gone to.
Okay.
But again, I would never know, right?
True.
Because I remember being in high school and, you hear stories about universities, right? And you hear stuff about courtism and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I remember just like, those kind of like little prayers you pray, not like you sit down and say, God, you must do it or you must do it. Like, because I didn't even know there was anything like a Covenant University or like a private school. There wasn't really anything when I actually thought about something like that, right? That kind of utopia. Yeah. But like I remember thinking to myself that God, I don't want to go to one of these public schools because they'll force me into cult or they'll kill me or something funny. Like they'll think I'm a rich boy and they'll that sort of thing. Like those are the things. Like you don't have the thoughts all together, but you're just scared.
Nollywood calls down. Nollywood calls that.
All those Jamaic people, and then at the same time, I didn't want to go abroad. At that time, like when I was thinking about it, because in my mind I was thinking racism, which maybe I was right about, maybe I wasn't, but then again, we would never know, right?
Yeah.
So coming to see you, like being very shy, being like, I literally didn't. Even though people don't believe me when I say this, when I say like even my wife, she thinks everyone wants to say they are shy. Everyone thinks it's cool to say they are shy or introverted or. But I really didn't have friends for the most part when I was in fact, there was a time that this happened in my class. My classmates that I was classmates with for 6 years, that somebody was gossiping about a guy. Like the girls I was in the class, I was the only guy in the class. Girls were gossiping about a guy and someone was like, Quincy is here. And I'm like, okay. And they were right. Like I wasn't even like, cloud chasing in the sense that like I'll go and, go and make friends. I was just me, right? So coming to see you, like, between the time I left, like just in my final year in secondary school and, moving to see you, like a lot of people I'd gotten a lot of revelations about like, people having this opinion of me being a snob, right? Meanwhile, me, I'm like scared. Like, if you come to talk to me, I'll talk to you, but like, I wouldn't go out of my way to go talk to you because I don't know if you want to talk to me, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So like, a couple of people from like church setting had come to me to say, we've been seeing you since you were like 9 or whatever, but we thought you didn't want to talk to us. I'm like, so wait, I'll come into your church where all of you have your established cliques, and I'm supposed to come and be like, hey guys, come and join my clique. Come and make your clique. Do you understand? Or I'm supposed to come and penetrate or beg to be your friend. Do you understand? It doesn't make sense. But it happened in more than 2 or 3 kind of places. So I kind of understood it to be like, there's some people that if they don't say hi to you, you don't even notice that they didn't say hi to you. Right? Meanwhile, there's some people that if they don't say hi to you, say it's because they're proud. Same exact thing can happen, but it's because maybe people kind of think highly of you, which is in a sense a compliment and could be flattering. But when you feel like if things were not that way, you could have had a much better social kind of background. It kind of doesn't feel so flattering anymore, right? So when I came in to see you, I started to, try to go out of my way to be, friendly and to say hi to people. And that got me, being friends with a lot of people very quickly, especially people of the opposite sex. Was like, this guy's really nice. And, he actually even says hi to people. And, he might actually be interested in me, but it's just, he might be interested in a lot of people. So we don't know. But I think that, being in CU, like, it gave me the opportunity to discover myself. Like to start the process of self-discovery, because I think it kind of sounds like, a lot of people discover themselves, but I think that like it's possible. I think that a lot of people actually don't really come to knowledge of who they truly are for the longest time, and some people don't even get to that point at all. So like not understanding, why did I make the mistakes I made? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? And I think CU gave me that environment to be able to explore all those questions, in like a slow paced environment where, you're not having to make the decision when somebody's about to slit your hand so that you're joining a cult, or slit your throat so that you're joining the dead. It's very, you have that, time, and you really have the opportunity to make choices for yourself because, yes, I was influenced to go out smoking with people on 3, 4, 5 occasions, like to go out with them, but it was not sufficient to, like, again, if I was in an environment where people were doing it every week and they could just walk up the street to do it, or even do it in their rooms, it will be a different case, because it will get to the point where you're just like, okay, let me even try this thing, and you never know what, where that would take you. But just having the opportunity to really think through things and make decisions for myself, I think that was good. And also, like, the spiritual part of things, I think, yes, things were imposed on you, but I think that, like, seeing the way people behaved, like, knowing that, people got pregnant, for example, and people were expelled for getting people pregnant, or people did all sorts of things, and even, hearing stuff, stories like Audi's story and some of the rebel people's stories, you kind of realize that, a lot of things that you hear people talk about, like in terms of being spiritual, being Christian, all of that kind of stuff, some of it is just story, right? And if, like, you're not, like, you can get to the point where you can start to doubt things, but then you still have the sufficient exposure to get, like, answers to your questions as they come up. And I think that was really, helpful. Of course, it's still been a process, with having gone to England, still being relatively young to study my master's, have no one, like, just be by myself. There are times where I felt like really alone, where I felt like, oh my God, like, like, I really need you to talk to me here. And, where I felt really disconnected from, God in a sense. But there's some of the things that, like, I heard in CU that still kind of bring like, that kind of kept me, like, in line, so to speak. And, also in line with, also, like, apart from the spiritual, also the motivational things that, you'd hear from Papa and from, S01E20 and all those people. Why are you looking, Rose? Are you the mother of Rose? Oh, gosh, that's the one. So
I get it. You started doing the challenge before it even was discovered.
He was a man ahead of his times, right? But, like, a lot of those things actually still, like, help me till date and kind of make me some sort of, motivational speaker in some instances. Like, some things that have just been put in you, like, that are just a part of you. That kind of help people get through stuff and help you get through stuff too. So I think, like, personally, my experience, maybe because I didn't have a bad experience, I never got raped. I never got, molested or robbed, or, I wasn't treated badly to my knowledge. It wasn't a bad experience. So because it wasn't bad, I can say it was good. And there are a lot of positives that I have drawn from that experience. And, I don't think, like, I know, like, a few people have talked about, like, the way some CU students or CU graduates suffer in the real world upon graduating. And, you first see it in camp, and then, we see it go, from there. But I never really suffered those things. I feel like I was just ready for my world, and in a very interesting way. And also, like, the kind of things that I came into were things where, like, I just fit in very perfectly. Like, for example, I remember that in camp, there was this guy, a CU guy that was in my room. I served in Abuja. There was a CU guy in my room, and I remember this guy got bullied the whole 3 weeks we were in camp.
Wow.
They didn't know his name. It was Otta Boy. They called, hey, Otta Boy, go and fetch water for us. Go do this. Hey, don't. And, you know, for a minute, I even forgot that I went to see you, right? And because, like, I just, you know, fit in. I was just, you know, again, I started that process of self-discovery, right, which was really helpful. So for me, like personally, I'm not sure if that guy had. And I remember there was just one time, like the guy that was the ringleader of the bullying thing, right?
Yeah.
Just saw me, was like, wait. Quincy, which school you go, sir? I was like, I went to Covenant. It was like, and we never they send you this thing, but you'd be cool guy, you know, just relax. I was like, okay, cool. I'll take that. I think that they thought that maybe I schooled abroad or something. Which I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. As long as people are not thinking they should rob you because they think you have dollars. I mean, I'm good with that. But yeah, so I think CU was a really good experience for me.
Wow, really, really nice. That's a very, very lovely, lovely take. So, bro, where will we find you? Where can we find you online and all you do?
At the moment, I'm not doing so much, but I plan to start doing stuff again. On Instagram, I'm Birch, QBIRCH.
Okay.
On YouTube, I think you would find me if you just search Quincy Birch, but I've not posted anything since 2012. I was doing a lot of guitar videos, but I plan to start doing that again.
Start.
Yeah, probably even would link up with you to see, you know, what we can do.
Okay.
I also plan to start doing voiceovers again. I did a couple when I was in Nigeria, and like I think that's a really good space to play in.
Is it for cartoons or ads or what?
Like ads or little like introductions to things, because you know,
okay.
I've heard that like I sound nice. People have even thought I'll be a good singer, but
yes, yeah, it sounds nice. Maybe go do intro for this podcast one day, sir. Who knows?
I mean, I'm up for that. Honestly, that would be cool. Like, I just want to start putting myself out there, because I've realized, I think the biggest lesson I've learned this year is that nobody really knows what they're doing, and I think that is very, very true. And what that means is not that nobody knows what they're doing, but a lot of people start doing something and they just start doing, and the more they do it, they just become better and learn lessons and make mistakes and of course grow, right? Like that's what I want to start to try to do, like more and more. Just do, instead of waiting for things to happen, do more stuff. So I'm on Instagram as QBirch. I'm on YouTube as Quincy Birch or Cube Strings, but I think Cube Strings is cheesy, but you find me as Quincy Birch. And yeah, I'm guitarists, voiceover artists, etc. More to come, more to follow. Yeah,
bro. So really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks.
Really had a good time here, man. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah. So on that voiceover thing, now script matter be the issue now. What to say? Me, I know do copyright. What do you call those things? I'm not a writer, but small,
I see.
We'll find.
I mean, if you draft something, then I can try to put my own idea to it, and then we'll come up with a finished product, and we'll put it out.
Okay, I'll start thinking about it.
Super.
All right, now. So take care, bro.
All right then. Have a good one.
You too. Okay. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please subscribe on all your podcatchers, Apple, Spotify, Google, any other place, and have a great week ahead.